And this is why I said we needed to end the war in Ukraine as soon as possible, even if it meant having to give something up. Chinese and Russian Presidents Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin stood side by side during the week and promised to, quote, adhere to fairness and justice, never mind, and be defenders of the national order. That's the bit we need to be worried about. They were in Moscow to mark Thursday's 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, and they put out a lengthy joint statement saying that they would deepen relations in all areas, including military ties, and, quote, strengthen coordination in order to decisively counter Washington's course of dual containment of Russia and China. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and the leaders of several NATO countries gathered to discuss the war in Ukraine. Zelensky and those leaders have shown their support for an unconditional 30-day ceasefire starting on Monday, and then today we have Vladimir Putin inviting Ukraine to take part in direct talks on the 15th of May. So there's plenty more to play out there, Evelyn. But this idea, well, it's not an idea, it's happening. Russia and China are cozying up to each other. Now, Russia needs China far more than China needs Russia, except for perhaps all the land that Russia has. But this is where we are going now. Russia and China are setting themselves up as the alternative force in the world. And if we in the West don't wake up and strengthen ourselves, and I mean, for heaven's sake, look at the state of our military here in Australia and across much of the Western world. If China and Russia get together, we're done.
Well, that's the question we have to ask. Can we, all of us combined, beat Russia and China if they are together? And the answer is no. And so what we really need now is to strengthen our allies, particularly with America. America need to really continue strengthening their military, and praise God, Trump is in, because I doubt we would have had the same sort of leadership under the Democrats with Biden. We've been in a military alliance with America since the 50s, and that's super important. We need to cozy up to them a lot, particularly in the wake of these alliances that we're seeing. But I mean, it's kind of our fault, like you mentioned, because once upon a time, the West, America, Australia, Europe, the UK, we were a city on the hill. You know, people would look to us for morality, for justice, for fairness, for peace. People would look to us and go, you know what, I want to live there. People in China, people in Russia probably would have looked to us and gone, you know what, I would rather immigrate over to those countries than live here. But it's almost like we've flipped ourselves on our head, and it's the other side of the coin, because now China and Russia would look at us and we would be the laughing stock because we have a weak military. We can't tell boys from girls. And I mean, what world power is going to be afraid of a man who wears a skirt? I'm sorry, that's the simple reality of it. And so we need really wise politicians who don't make enemies with Russia and China, because that would be stupid. That would be a total lack of wisdom and discernment. But we need politicians who are smart, who can recognise a threat and you go, you know what, I'm not going to provoke that threat, but I'm going to be prepared for it. And I hope and pray that that happens, because I don't want my children sent off to some useless, unnecessary war like sadly we're already seeing across many parts of the world.